And we're back for another Gab with Abigail. If you aren't back and this is your first time on my channel, hi, welcome to Gabs with Abigail, where we talk about the Bates and Duggars and other D-list fundies. Sorry if my voice sounds a little weird, I am a little bit under the weather. Today's video is just a quick who is who to help out those who are new to fundies and maybe have heard of the Duggars but not the Bates. And this is going to be as quick as it can be for a family of 21 people. So let's get into it. William Gilvin, Gil, Bates, and Kelly Jo Bates have been married for 34 years. They met in college in South Carolina, where they're both originally from, while Kelly Jo was tutoring Gil in chemistry. They ended up transferring to a college in Tennessee and got married during Kelly Jo's last semester, settling permanently in East Tennessee. Both of them were raised as Christians, and Kelly Jo said it was Gil's spirituality and ease with her niece that attracted her to him. Gil is the eldest of 3 children, and Kelly Jo has 3 older sisters and 2 much younger adopted sisters. They, however, went on to have 19 children. They are Gothardites and met the Duggars during some conference back when they each had about 13 to 14 children. They were featured many times on 19 Kids and Counting, with the Bates eventually getting their own TLC show that was unfortunately canceled after 1 season. Several years later, they were picked up for a TV show again by Up TV, and it has been running for several seasons. Most people tend to like the Bates more than the Duggars due to the more relaxed and close nature of the Bates family.
What did y'all do on dates? Y'all show us what y'all did on dates. That'd be it. We'd love to learn from y'all.
Well, we might have held hands a little bit.
I mean, y'all's love lasted through 19 kids. What did y'all do?
Amen. It was definitely a little, what's the word? Awkward.
I think Josie probably feels awkward for Kelton, but Kelton feels the most awkward because here you are at your girlfriend's house and you're getting a talk or a lecture that's for everybody, but you're the only courting couple.
Gil Bates tends to cry and get emotional often.
Pure life, and I want you to keep it to the day that I hand you off to some fine young man that loves God, and he'll begin to take care of it. So we love you.
And Kelly Jo's long birthday post on Instagram makes people feel like she knows her kids better than Michelle Duggar. Unlike Michelle Duggar, Kelly Jo has had 19 individual pregnancies and births. To this day, the Bates parents are still involved in IBLP, with Gil serving on the board at this time. Gil and Kelly Jo's 19 children. Zach. Zach is the eldest child and son. Born December 30th, 1988, Zach is my favorite brother of all the Bates and Duggars, to be honest. If I had to be married to any Fundie son, it would definitely be Zach. He is so damn funny. Like, he's such a pleasure to watch on Bringing Up Bates because he has a joke and a one-liner for everything. When his wife was pregnant with their first child, the family pulled a prank on him that she was going into labor, and the reaction he had was so cute and funny and really spoke to the genuine wholesome man that Zach is. Also, we stan a cop who quits. I'm kidding, but I do think it's interesting that he quit being a cop recently and is basically helping with his family's tree business and his wife's business. Zach is married to Whitney Perkins, who is an only child with sort of a cloudy family history. She and Zach renewed their vows so Whitney's parents, who did not attend her first wedding to Zach, could attend. Whitney runs Bates Sisters Boutique with her sister-in-law Carlin. She also has her real estate license, but to our knowledge, she doesn't really use it, or at least she doesn't publicly post about it. Whitney seems like the nicest person, like the personification of every positive stereotype that we have about Southern women. Sweetest accent. Zach and Whitney share 4 kids, ages 6 years to 5 months. Michael, or Michaela, is the firstborn daughter and is the sister mom of sister moms. Like, that's who you gotta fight at the last final battle. And also Jana Duggar's former BFF. Michael is the sister everyone expected to have 19 kids. However, despite having gotten married in 2015, she continues to be childless and is navigating a difficult fertility journey. For all the things I cannot stand about the Bates and their beliefs, I do really pray Michael gets to experience pregnancy and motherhood. There is something unreasonably cruel about being raised in a cult that makes motherhood the greatest calling a woman can have, and then being deemed infertile. That Michael should be the Job of her family doesn't seem right. Michael has in the last 2 years completed her LPN, that's licensed practical nursing degree, and expressed in the past maybe working in the NICU/pediatrics. And this has all felt like Michael's villain story, like where she steals a baby, but recently she said that she was probably going to use her license to help her elderly grandparents care. Michael continues to be the sister mom to her sisters, helping out often when they have emergencies with their babies, or need a sitter, or just spending time with the nieces and nephews because she loves to spoil them. Michael also has a small business making baby swaddles and blankets. She does not wear pants. Queen of maxi dresses, Michaela has never met a maxi dress that did not like her curves back. She's married to Brandon Carlin, who is the most unique of all the Bates son-in-laws in terms of his meek demeanor. Brandon has 9 siblings and is originally from Illinois. He is also the author of a Christian trilogy aimed at elementary school kids and middle schoolers. Erin. Erin is 30 and probably the most accomplished homemaker of her siblings. By that I mean she's the best cook, the best home decorator, and has the most children. She is one of the most religious of her siblings and continues not to wear pants publicly. Of her siblings, I would say she talks about her faith the most on her social media platforms, with about 70% of her YouTube videos being faith-focused. Erin is an accomplished pianist with several CDs and graduated from Crown College with a degree in music. She was one of the original 3 founders of Bates Sisters Boutique back when it launched in 2019 and left in 2021 after a drawn-out battle with COVID, which shifted her priorities. In late 2021, she began vlogging more regularly on YouTube, launched an IG devotional page, as well as scripture flashcards for children. Erin was the first Bates siblings to get married, and actually this was featured on 19 Kids and Counting. And it's also one of the first times we get like that Ben and Jess are officially in a courtship. It's right after that. She has been married to Chad Payne since late 2018. Chad is the eldest of 10 children and runs Payne Construction. Chad and Erin share 3 children and a country. No, I'm kidding, but reminder, there is no such thing as ghetto names, just people from the Midwest and Southerners who need a third party in the room asking, "Are you sure?" Their kids are ages 6, 5, 3, and 2, and Erin is currently expecting their 5th miracle child, Finley, in the next few weeks. During her battle with COVID, Erin, who shares a blood clotting disorder with many of her sisters, had all but about half an ovary removed and did not think she could get pregnant. Erin also has the biggest IG following, and it will be interesting to see if she will be able to catch up with Carlin on YouTube or if Carlin will ultimately surpass her following on IG. Big families are all about competition. William Lawson Bates, age 29. I'm actually going to sing this entire description because I want to really capture Lawson in these moments that we have. American patriot who once used a MLK quote to justify not liking masks. Yes, the Bates are from Tennessee, the state MLK was shot and killed. Yes, he's anti-mask despite his sister basically sacrificing her ovaries to COVID. And that pretty much sums him up. I mean, Lawson was probably the first indication that the Bates were going quote-unquote worldly, since he sings slightly secular music. Singing and songwriting are his big passions, and based on the approximately 3-carat ring, the biggest we've seen thus far, that he gave his fiancée, apparently it's paying very well. He has sang an original song for almost all of his siblings' weddings. And in my opinion, Lawson is actually a very talented songwriter, and he should pursue that full time rather than seeking to be a star on his own. Just because you're white and write music does not mean we can all be Taylor Swift. And this is no shade to the legend that is Taylor Swift. He often does that medic/mission work with some of his brothers in developing countries, with the most significant sojourn being to the Philippines regarding a young girl named Esther Faith Bateo, who we got a year worth of content regarding her heart defect. Who doesn't love a heartwarming white savior story? Lawson also in his spare time works as a sheriff representative or something. He previously had a lawn mowing business and at one time stepped in financially to help the Bates parents. People act like this is so heroic. Plenty of people with less kids have kids who are working to help their families financially. Besides, it takes a village to raise a child, and Kelly Jo was producing said village, so the least it could do is work. This is a Lawson Bates hate account. I'm so sorry. The best way I could sum up Lawson is that he is very much a Leo. Lawson is currently engaged to his 22-year-old girlfriend of 6 months, Tiffany Espenson. More on that in their couples video. For the longest time, people were speculating that Lawson and Jana Duggar were courting or should court, and I'm so glad he got into a relationship because people have finally stopped suggesting that nonsense. Their personalities do not match at all. Nathan Bates, the first Bates brother to bag 2 bad bitches and stay cordial. A Christian courtship icon, truly. Nathan is described as adventurous and wanting to dive headfirst into anything dangerous. He has turned this into a career in terms of doing rescue mission work and started Medicorps with John David Duggar. He also jumped out of a plane at his wedding entrance. Nathan used to be kind of attractive, but has gotten kind of fat in the last couple of years. And now I don't like to body shame, but when I do like to body shame white men who have inappropriately yelled out George Floyd when someone is acting out being shot in a game of charades. Nathan married Esther Keyes late October 2021, and Esther is one of 14 children. Alyssa, the first sister to get the hell out of Dodge. No, I'm kidding, but she was the first sister to move out of Tennessee once she got married. She was also the first sister and A-list Fundie to wear pants once married. She is also the only sibling who has an affectionate childhood nickname, which is Biz, as in a busy, buzzing bee, appropriate for Alyssa's type A personality. Her siblings frequently visit her in Florida. Alyssa has been married to John Webster since 2014. John is the 5th of 6 children, and his father is a representative for Florida in the U.S. House of Representatives. Alyssa and John have 4 daughters, ages 11 months to 6 years. Tori Lane, age 26, the elusive favorite. Tori is the least active of all her siblings on social media, which is a shame because she has the cutest kids and such a pretty face. Fun and lively, the family violinist, deeply religious and smart academically, Tori graduated magna cum laude from Crown College with a bachelor's in elementary education. Tori is married to Robert Ellis Smith III, aka Bobby, and they have been married since 2017. They share 3 children, Cade, age 3, Coulter, age 20 months, and Charlotte, 5 months. Trace, another American patriot. Trace has finally grown into that face. He used to do trick horse riding at the Dixie Stampede, which since the George Floyd murder has been renamed to something less racy. He got injured and stopped doing that and now works with Payne Construction. He also sometimes works as a cop in a manner similar to whatever it is that Lawson does. Trace recently went officially public with his girlfriend Lydia Romaki. Streets have been scandalized by premarital knee touching, but you'll have to subscribe for more on Trace's scandalous love life. Carlin Brienne Bates, most hated in the nation. Carlin has one of those personalities that you either really like or find really annoying. And I feel like most of her more ridiculous criticism comes from people not being able to admit that they don't like her personality. And that's life. You aren't going to like everyone that you meet, and that includes online personalities. That's why you don't follow every single Instagram page that is recommended to you. If there is anything going on, Carlin is going to somehow get dragged into it negatively. I'm pretty sure, according to the internet, Carlin is beefing with about half of her sisters right now. Carlin has a bachelor's degree from Liberty University and co-founded Bates Sisters Boutique in 2019. It was originally really her idea, and she asked her sisters, Erin and sister-in-law, Whitney, to be co-owners. The business has been, of course, very successful. And subscribe so you don't miss the Bates Sisters Boutique deep dive. Carlin is married to Evan Stewart, and they have a daughter, Layla, and are expecting a son in March 2022. Carlin and Evan have a very successful YouTube channel as well. I have to give credit where credit is due that Evan does a fantastic job editing their YouTube. Carlin's other claim to fame is being besties with Joanna Duggar, and we have seen Joy featured on Carlin's YouTube at least 3 or 4 times. Carlin is very much trying to be a Christian influencer and uses her platform often to talk about Jesus. It's not in a scriptural way, the way I would say Erin's content is, where Erin's content seems aimed at people who are already believers. Carlin's Christian content comes across as more of an easy open door invitation to people who aren't saved. Josie Balka, age 22, the OG Josie and middle child. Josie is probably the most reserved of all the Bates sisters, and the sister who seems the most natural at selling us stuff. She was the most stylish sister growing up, and in my opinion continues to be. She just tends to be on trend first and pulls it off almost effortlessly. Josie has her cosmetology license and has a small business called Effortless Beauty, which does hair and makeup for weddings in Tennessee. The business, of course, is doing exceptionally well. Effortless Beauty also has like a hair accessory line as well. Josie has been married to Kelton Balka since 2018 and in my opinion caught the biggest financial fish of all her sisters. Kelton is actually best friends with Tori's husband Bobby, and Bobby works for Kelton's plumbing business. Kelton and Josie share 2 daughters, Willow age 2 and Hazel 5 months. Katie, age 21, the actual Regina George of the Fundies. Katie, being the bougie princess of the family, surprised me for the sole fact that she supposedly does not enjoy being the center of attention. Katie has her cosmetology license and worked for her sister/BFF, Josie's business Effortless Beauty, before getting married this past December. Katie also frequently modeled for Bates Sisters Boutique. The Bates say Katie is the best babysitter and also the baby whisperer of the family. She is also apparently the worst driver in the family, which is saying a lot because the Bates are notoriously bad drivers. Katie married Travis Clark of the Clark Family Singers, no, not those Clarks, these Clarks, this past December, and has since moved to New Jersey. Jackson, age 19, the eldest of the 3 Musketeer brothers trio, and the only one who at this point has attended the Alert boot camp. Jackson works with Payne Construction. Warden, the hottie brother. Warden would have definitely been a popular athlete who ran through bitches in high school had he grown up normal. Warden very much carries himself like he knows he's the shit, but without being annoyingly arrogant. Warden recently graduated high school and is currently working for Payne Construction. Isaiah, once described by his mother as having the same inflections and disposition as Eeyore, which to me sounds like a cry for help, not a funny anecdotal reference, but I guess. Isaiah is described as sweet and helpful, and we often see him helping Kelly Jo cooking. Isaiah works with his brothers for Payne Construction. He is also the other brother alleged to have yelled George Floyd during that infamous tape charade game. Addie, aka Addie. Addie was born prematurely at home and stopped breathing after her birth. She survived, and her father named her Addie with the double letters in her name spelling, representing the second chance God gave her in life. Addie suffers from some deafness and wears a hearing aid. As of 2021, Addie is the oldest Bates sister still at home. Ellie, the quiet stunner. I looked like a toe bunion at 14. However, Ellie is so pretty that if it weren't for braces, I would have to assume the puberty monster just decided to leave her alone. Ellie is one of the more reserved Bates sisters, at least in terms of like her public persona. She honestly should take Katie's place modeling for Bates Sisters Boutique. Cali, the baby sister and precocious one. Like, she is literally the textbook example of a precocious child. Judson, my former fave. I always feel bad for the second to last baby. The baby is always going to eclipse you in attention. Judson seems like a sweet kid, where Jeb seems like he's so damned annoying because he's so damn spoiled. Jeb, the youngest child and admittedly the spoiled one. Have yet to publicly see a redeeming quality about Jeb, but seeing as he's 9, we're really rooting for that character development. Alright guys, that's it for me. Hope this helped, and I will see you for the next one. Bye.
It's like you niggas gotta stop acting weird.